Hello everybody, it's Saturday the 7th of October, and this is just to say that the book is now finally out. I've been talking about this for how long? I don't know. I've been working so hard on it. I woke up this morning and think, I must get up early and do some more work on the book. No, Stephen, you published it yesterday. It's on Kindle and you can download it now. It's $5 or £3.77 in English money. If I make any profits, they'll be donated to Tree Aid. That's my pledge. Just a quick flick through. This is the table of contents. The book is what it was always going to be. It's a mixture of history, storytelling. You know, it's a bit about me. You may not want to know much about me. In that case, you don't have to buy the book. But anyway, it's not complete autobiographical stuff, but just a few bits about how I got interested in apples. I met Julia, and we had a pretty bad time in a hospital at work in the north of England. During that time, we comforted ourselves by reading books about a good life, and our dream began to form. Our first home, the first apple trees, first little orchard, backyard orchard we planted. The second little backyard orchard we planted, our search for land, the problems we had getting a bit of land, us getting a bit of land, the fencing, the initial planting, lots about our genetic and cultural heritage of fruit trees, discussion about the problems we had marketing our apples to the public, all the difficulties. As you know, I've always said this, so I'm very keen on talking about things that didn't go so well. Which doesn't mean I'm a miserable so-and-so. I'm actually quite happy most of the time. But where things can go wrong. My medical training, I'm trained to, when I see people at my place of work, the first question is, well, what's wrong? So I'm a problem-solving, problem-seeking kind of guy. Bramley, I've written a lot about the Bramley. It's a good apple, there are things wrong with it. Pollination, the problems of planting trees too close together, some of our adventures that didn't work. I've written a fair bit about pesticide, particularly glyphosate. I know there were strong views either side. My views are plain. I've written about them and explained why I take them. Lots and lots and lots about books, about the books that we read. Lots of different stuff about different kinds of apple trees, accordion, spindlebush, pyramids, dwarf bushes, standards, etc. How to manage them. Practicalities of pruning, grafting, quite a lot about grafting. Throughout the book, which is about 130,000 words, about 550 pages, there are quite a few pictures. There are lots of hyperlinks. If you're reading it on a connected device, you can click on a link and it'll take you to a video, it'll take you to a website, it'll take you to a poem, it'll take you to some various other stuff. Chip budding, apple varieties, just 2 words there, but that's a very long section, possibly the longest section. There's a huge amount of apple varieties. I could have listed them all underneath here, but that would have made a table of contents about 3 times as long. So click there and it'll take you to where you want to go. A lot about cider, which are the best apple varieties to grow yourself. What are my top 5 favourites? Perry pears, cider, wassailing, lots of books. Here's a review of all. Here's all the books. Quite a big section of the book of Tales from an English Orchard. Quite a significant amount of it is the bibliography, because I've got this huge collection of old books, some of which are up there. Very rare old books, some of them limited first editions. There are some more of my books. Some of these, like for example, New Forest Orchard, very influential book on us, very hard to find. Books like Prue and Nichols about making cider, lots of really good information in there. You can get that, and it's very good. I would if you can. Poetical and quirky books, Side of the Forgotten Miracle, James Crowden. The beautiful Apple book. I hope some of you got this when I first advised you to, because tragically it's now out of print. I've contacted Rosie Saunders and the matter's out of her hands. There's no plans for another edition, regrettably. But anyway, all of these books, Pomona Britannica, Hooker's Finest Fruits, Michael Phillips, The Apple Grower. There are appreciations of all of these books, and in the case of some of the older ones, quite a lot of copied out from them and their wisdom distilled. So it's quite a resource in terms of getting information from old books that you will not be able to obtain, even if you could. It would be a tremendous effort for you to do so. And yeah, so you see a lot about books. I've put some very controversial stuff. You know, I've got some opinions that not everyone will like or agree with about pesticide, about conservation, about the English planning laws, which we fought with and lost. You know, that's all there to answer the question, why didn't you build a house? The simple answer is we weren't allowed to. Even though they're surrounding where we live in Botley with new developments. But anyway, blah blah blah, quacker quacker. The book is up there. If you just go to Kindle, if you want it, go to Amazon Kindle and just put Tales from an English Orchard in. There were several authors called Stephen Hayes. There is even another one called Stephen F. Hayes. But if you go to Amazon Kindle and put Tales from an English Orchard in, then you'll find the book. It's a download. It's $5 US, £3.77 in English money, and frankly, I hope you'll all buy a copy. I mean, if 1 in 10 subscribers buys a copy, we'll raise about £2,000, all of which I will transparently donate to Tree Aid through my Just Giving page, so people will be able to see that that's happening transparently. Create a great charity supporting poor farmers along the African drylands from Chad to Ethiopia, planting and supporting and monetizing food producing trees along the southern edge of the Sahara Desert, hoping to maybe even prevent the Sahara Desert advancing further south, which is a great humanitarian thing which we can all support, whatever our worldviews are. Okay, so the book is now out. In future, if somebody asks me, can you graft an apple tree onto an oak tree? What is the best apple to grow? How do you make cider? What's the best planting distances? What rootstock should I use? How do you prune an espalier? I would say, why don't you read my book? Okay, cheers then. So, yeah, it's out there. It's a long book, and there's lots of pictures. The pictures appeared quite nicely. There's quite a few, pictures of us and our family. And I'll just end with this. This is a nice old picture. That's my mother on the left, my father's mother behind, and that's me, aged about 3.5, picking hops down in Kent, and there's a bit of autobiographical material. Okay, I'll end there, and I hope the book becomes a bestseller. If you like it, post a positive review, tell your friends about it. Come on, it's only the price of a pint of beer and a newspaper, and any profits are going to a really worthwhile development charity.